Hello students, my name is Pawan and I welcome you all towards our Building Your Dreams YouTube channel. On the request of huge amount of students, I have decided to start YouTube classes on 2nd PUC Business Studies portions, and it has been a constant support from all of you. As such, our Building Your Dreams have been basically crossed around 400 plus subscribers. I thank each and every viewers as well as subscribers for constantly supporting us. So guys, all the videos which I'll be uploading from now on, it is going to be basically on 2nd PUC Business Studies, revised syllabus, and I guarantee you this is going to be the distinction preparation guaranteed for getting about 97 marks. 97 marks, so kindly watch the video till the end to get all the tips and strategies to nail this exam. So come guys, let's get started. So guys, there is an old paradox which says that if you want to win a battle, you must be very much well versed in the tricks in the battlefield. Similar way, if you want to nail an exam, you must be very much well versed in the question paper pattern. So guys, now let's look upon the question paper pattern for us to understand and analyze how exactly questions are going to be asked. So I assure you that at the end, I'll be giving you all the tips and strategies which will get a clear picture on how to get above 97 marks. So guys, now let's look upon the question paper pattern. So as you all know that we have 5 sections for your 2nd PUC board exam for now business studies. That is section A, section B, section C, section D and section E. So in section A, it's overall for 10 marks, that is like 1 markers each. So you can attend it for 1 markers, and the questions is basically asked on MCQs, or it can be 1 word or 1 sentence. So the best way of preparing for your 1 markers is just refer previous question papers. That's more than enough. It can be from 2016 to present 2020. Refer all the question papers for your 1 markers because it was the same syllabus. On certain chapters where 1 to 9 chapters was still the same. Only in 2020-21 the remaining chapters was basically deleted. So what you can do, revise the previous question papers, but do not worry, I'll be uploading videos on how to prepare for your 1 markers. I myself will be referring all the question papers and giving it to you, so guys, don't worry about it. So guys, for your section B, that is overall 10 questions, and it will be basically for 2 markers each, so that's basically around 20 marks. You can easily fetch 20 marks in your section B, and the answer type is going to be based on 2 or 3 sentences each, and you can refer for this same as your previous question papers. See guys, I can assure you that being one of the toppers for 2nd PUC, where I have secured 97, I've used the same strategies and steps, and normally before taking this class, I've inquired with different amount of other toppers. They themselves have also suggested this techniques towards me to just put it out in this video. So as such, I'm just telling you, refer previous question papers for your section A as well as for your section B. That can fetch you around say 30 marks. Guys, the next main is on the section C, and in which you're supposed to attempt overall 7 questions, and each question carries 4 marks. So it is one of the short answers main, in which you can just write 4 to 5 points without introduction and conclusion. So intro and conclusion is not required for your section C. So kindly make sure that you write the 4 points, 4 to 5 points. Why 5 points? I'm just telling it because if one of your point is wrong, you can get fetch marks within your next point. So it's very advisable to use 4 to 5 points. Give proper explanation, underline the key points. It's one of the important tips which students should follow. Underline the key points, write 4 lines of explanation. That's more than peaceful for getting full marks, and in which you can easily get around 28 marks. So guys, now let's look upon the section D, in which you're supposed to write 4 answers, and each answer cost you around 8 marks, and in which one of the easiest mains, in which you're supposed to write your introduction, and conclusion is very much important because you can fetch 1 or 2 marks on your intro and conclusion, and then give 8 points, underline it and give 4 lines explanation each, and it is very much important, in which you can fetch very easily 32 marks. And why I said not to write introduction and conclusion for your section C, that is basically because in case if you write intro and conclusion for your section C, you will lose huge amount of time. As such, you wouldn't be able to attend very properly the 8 markers, that is your section D. So as such, I kindly request you for your intro and conclusion, write it only on your section D. So now let's look upon the last and final main, that is section E, that is your POQs, practical oriented questions. So overall 3 questions would be given, in which you're supposed to attempt any 2, and each question carries 5 marks, so you can easily fetch around 10 markers each, and overall 9 questions would is there in your board exam for your POQs. You can study any 8, and there are many strategies of just studying it, so you can aram se fetch 10 markers over here. So guys, that's more about question paper pattern. So guys, now let's look upon the attempting pattern for the exam. So as you all know that you have optionals for around 43 marks. So you can see the total number of questions asked is 43 for 139 marks, and students have to answer just 33 for 100 marks. And you can see to be asked section over there. For your section A, 12 questions would be asked. That's for 1 markers each, and then you can answer any 10 from there. And for your section B, 12 questions are going to be asked. You can write any 10 answers from it. For your section C, overall 10 questions are going to be asked. You're supposed to write any 7 answers. And for your section D, 6 questions would be given. You can answer any 4. And for your section D, that is your POQ, as I said before, 3 questions are going to be asked. You can write any 2. So overall answers which students can answer is about 33 for 100 marks. So you can see your optionals are around 43, in which it's around 139 marks, in which you're supposed to answer just 33 for 100 marks. So guys, now let's look upon the chapters on the revised syllabus. So as you all know, in the revised syllabus there is just 9 chapters, but before there used to be around 12 to 13 chapters. So now let's read out all the 9 chapters which is there for your exam. So in chapter 1 you have about nature and significance of management. This is your chapter 1. In your chapter 2 it's mainly about the principles of management. Chapter 3 is all about management and business environment. Chapter 4, planning. Chapter 5, organizing. And chapter 6, staffing. Chapter 7, directing. And chapter 8, controlling. And the last chapter is the financial management. That is chapter 9. So guys, I normally get complaints from the students. They say that business studies is one of the toughest subject. It is one of the theory subject. How to get good marks. At that point of time, I used to teach them these 5 tips. As such, I've seen a huge progress of those students. People have got average, have reached a stage of getting 80 to 90 marks after applying the steps in a real sense of consciousness with a true heart. And today, I'm going to share these 5 tips with you guys. Guys, the tip number 1 is learn with practical examples. So what do you mean by learn with practical examples? It's as simple as this. If you're studying any point in your business studies, see where exactly you can apply this point in your real life. For example, it can be chapter 1, that is nature and significance of management. In that chapter, there's a question about characteristics of management. At that, you study about goal-oriented process, group activity. At that scenario, ask yourself where exactly you can apply group activity, where exactly you can apply goal-oriented in your life. Goal-oriented can be in terms of achieving passion in your life, for getting success, for going behind your dreams. That is goal-oriented. See how I've related goal-oriented in terms of my life? Similarly, you guys should relate all the points towards your practical life. Then trust me, business studies is going to be your cup of tea. Now, the second point is mnemonic techniques. So it's morely about keeping formulas while studying. So for example, if you want to by heart 4 points, that is about strength, weakness, opportunities and threats. So at that point of time, you keep a formula for studying about it. So I've kept the formula as SWOT, that is strength, weakness, opportunities and threats. See how easily I've studied these 4 points through just a simple formula. Similar way, in your business studies, if you're able to keep formulas and study for most of your answers, then trust me, you're going to reach the second stage of getting distinction for your exam. So guys, the third tip which I would like to give you is create a story tagline. So what do you mean by story tagline technique? It's like you're going to create a story, and at that particular story, you're going to relate all your business studies points into it. It can also be looking into other dimensions, that in your family members, you can keep one person's name and related to the business studies points. As such, you can recall those points very easily. So guys, I think it will be a little funny for you to hear, but trust me, this technique works. And not only that, it can be even the things which you see nearby. For example, in my house, the fan and bulb always stays together. So for B, bulb, that B I've also termed it as budgeting. F, fan, I've also termed it as futuristic. See how I've related my points towards a present scenario which I'm studying. So I also suggest you guys to follow up the same technique. Trust me, this technique will surely work out for you. Guys, the fourth important tip which I would like to give you is a revision. Guys, a revision is very important. Please trust me, this is one of the important stage. The more number of time you revise, you're going to be the mastery of that subject. Similar way, you're supposed to do 3 stages of revision. 3 stages, for example, if you're studying business studies evening, recall the same subject before sleep, and then next day morning kindly go through it. Only then you'll be able to recall all the points or formulas or all the story taglines which you have created. And at the next stage of revision, you guys are, for example, if you guys are playing or just walking around, try to recall these points. At that point of time, do not have book in your hand, but just try to recall what all questions you studied, what all points you studied, or the story tagline. Do not do pre-reading. What is pre-reading? Do not open the book and sit and read from first again and again. At that point of time, it's very advisable for the students to do revision. Revision is just like recalling it. If you're able to recall, trust me, you're going to get distinction, and I assure you that. And one more stage of the revision is that, see guys, when normally students have faced a difficulty of studying business studies, I make them to do the different kind of revision techniques. The technique which I'm going to share you now, it's little easiest way, but it's little complicated. If you follow it, trust me, you're going to get good marks. It's like, for example, if you have 5 answers, and I normally teach them first answer, and when I go back to the second answer, I'll ask them to recall the first answer back. And when I go to the third answer, I make them to tell me the third answer, then I make them to recall second and first one. Similar way, when I go to the fifth answer, fifth one, fourth one, third one, second one, and the first one, I make them to recall. So this is a different stage of revision. So I've seen a tremendous amount of changes and the students after I follow up with this technique, and trust me, this technique will surely help you out. So just give a try and working on it. At that point of time, you will be able to study huge amount of question answers at one segment point of time. So guys, the fifth tip which I'm going to give you now is very important, that is be fast in writing. So most of you guys do not have the practice in writing. As such, they lose out time in their board exam. So I advise you, every 2 weeks once or weekly once, make sure that you attempt a business studies question paper. Just randomly take out a question paper and start writing it. Make sure that you finish within 3 hours at that stipulated time. So I've seen that as business studies is one of the lengthiest paper, people normally live out section E, section A, one of the easiest mains, because they don't get much time. So I kindly advise you, make sure that you have a writing practice. If you have writing practice and if you're able to balance your time, trust me, you are going to have success in your life in terms of business studies, in which you can get distinction, and I assure it's going to be 97 marks. So guys, kindly follow up these 5 tips, and I assure you that these tips are going to truly work out for you. Just give a try by working it in all the aspects. So thank you so much guys, that's all for today's class. Really grateful for all of you who have watched this video till the end, and I'm 100% sure all the tips and strategies are going to truly work out for you. And if you do like this video, please do like it, share, as well as subscribe. You guys can follow me on Instagram. It's my ID is pavan.ss. And if you have any doubts, please do put a comment below. As such, I can surely clear out all your doubts. So that's all for today. See you out in my part 2 video of the second PUC Business Studies revised syllabus preparation for your board exam. So hope to see you. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye guys.